Hello and welcome to TV Chef Fantasy League. I am your host and commissioner, Sierra Cato, here with my co-host, Mike Cabalon, and our returning guest host, Brian David Gilbert.
Hello,
Back
hello.
again. Thank you so much.
But
for the record,
my final
go ahead.
round, I was gonna say this is my
Yeah.
last day here, and I think it was a good one to go out on, honestly, as the, in the set
Yeah.
of the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
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 You had a good substitute run. I will say, for the last 3 weeks, every comment or like every third comment on our YouTube video is always someone going, Brian David Gilbert?
Yeah.
I think
Why is he here? Yeah.
I'm slowly getting original. I used to have a different brand, and I think my new brand is appearing on things that people are like, "Hey, what the hell? What? Where did what?"
Amazing.
But I love that.
Yeah,
So
you're
happy
like
to be
everyone's
part of
favorite
that.
character actor.
Yeah.
Like Steven, you're the Steven Tobolowsky of comedy. You know what I mean? Like people are just like, is that
Oh.
Steven Tobolowsky?
I've never been complimented higher. That's the best. I'm so happy.
Incredible. Well, yes, it's a bittersweet third and final appearance. I hope you continue to be in places if he was once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking
In
his
his
spot.
shadow.
Oh, I thought you were going to say on our pod specifically. I was going to be like, come back anytime.
Well,
but you're
that
saying
too.
anywhere that Iffy has
Yeah, I
ever
was
been,
thinking-
you should also do that.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Show up to pick up
this
his
could
daughter at
also-
school.
Yeah,
this could
it'll
also
be
set up
good.
lots
Anywhere
of
but the
other-
gym.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, while he's at the gym, of course. But yes, you're right. Dessert week. This was a good one to go out on. A very amorphous definition of dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
A pudding, as they say sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Across the pond. But yes, I think, I did want to announce too, I did make a scoring mistake last episode. So thank you I think one person wrote in about that
Yes.
and was right. I was like, let me see. I think I did perfectly fine. But no, I was
see,
incorrect. Not
all Asians are good at math, folks. The
Hey.
stereotypes are not true.
I blame the left hand handshake. It
Yeah.
was out of my
Yeah.
purview of the spreadsheet I had set up. So
Yeah.
but makes this episode more exciting because Mike and I are tied.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Brian. You are
Okay.
still holding up.
And I'm
Ify's-
close. I'm like a half a point behind you
Right.
guys or something.
Yeah, somewhere around there, round up. But yes, so as a result, I think Dessert Week is even more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
This is a big
crazy.
one. And a lot of
Um,
like as someone who is still relatively new to the scoring system was like, oh, there were some moments where, we'll get to those when we had some helping hands that I was like,
Yeah.
they cut it so quickly that I was like,
Right.
his hand barely touched the parchment paper, but that has to count. It's got to count.
If they make physical contact, it's a touch move game.
Right. Hey, you're right. It is very, it really changes the whole viewing experience, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing this week, Noel was wearing his sort of cactus Western cowboy style shirt.
I
didn't
love
really
that
know what
shirt.
to describe it as. Yeah, it was very cool. It seemed like
I want that shirt cut in a normal way. He always wears his shirts very like
Oh.
long and drapey and flowy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, cut it in a normal way, and then I'd wear it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Great fabric.
good fabric.
Definitely.
Love it. Another question. Did you guys know Prue's from South Africa? She's not British, apparently.
What?
I saw this on their Instagram.
I think I remember hearing about that once, and then I'm pretty sure I repressed the memory. I said, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that right now.
Right,
and I'm
right.
just gonna.
That's too much to handle. What seems to be the most British woman that I have ever
Yeah.
encountered is actually South African, and she
Mhm.
cleared it up on the Instagram. Go check it out if you guys on the British. Bake
Isn't
Off
she
Instagram.
also okay? Here we go. British pots and pans weigh in. Isn't she also a dame? And is that not a thing you need to
Oh.
be a British citizen for, or like a natural born? Like in America,
It is
you have to be born
possible.
here to be president. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was wondering about that. She is a dame, but I also am like, it might have been right on the weird cusp of like, okay, the colonies and the blah blah. We're close.
Sure, okay.
Right.
But also, I mean, it also could just be that she baked something so good
Oh,
that they were
gosh.
like, oh, we gotta,
You gotta get her in
Yeah,
here.
damn. Yeah. We're gonna break that rule because this trifle is just so delicious. And we know she loves a trifle. But yes, interesting. So okay, yeah. We'll clear that up, or somebody write in about the logistics.
No,
of
you
becoming
said
a
as soon as you
dame,
said
but-
colonization, I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's like
Well,
if someone
sure.
was born on like a foreign Air Force base that's American soil, they can still be president. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. You got to run your baby over to the embassy just in
Right,
case
yeah.
you want them to run. But I do think, maybe, I thought you meant to like, well, they're both kind of colonizing empires. It's the same damn whatever. But yes, interesting. All right. Well, fun fact. Okay, now on to the signature challenge.
Perfect.
Shall we get into these Basque style cheesecakes? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
Love my wife, bigger Basque cheesecake head than I am, and I already love them a lot. So we were both pleased as punch to see this challenge come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they looked pretty great, especially when they were like cutting into them, and you're just, it's really hard. I will say, watching this show, it's like automatic. I'm eating one more meal a day every time I watch it. The
Honestly,
not necessarily sweet.
The behind the scenes, I had to watch this on an airplane. I had already I pre-downloaded and watched it.
Wow.
And I think there was it was both better and worse for that, because I think I was realizing just how hungry I was, but also cool, I can't just be slamming chips right now, which is normally what I would be doing.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. If you're on one of the planes that has the Biscoff cookies, I'd be just requesting the Biscoffs. But yes,
what's your experience. Okay, you're on the plane. What are you taking? Because on United, they give you the option. We're a United family in our house, begrudgingly. None of the airlines are good. It's not like I'm like, yeah, United. I'm like, they all suck. You just have to pick one. We picked United. And they give you the choice between the salty pretzel mix, the chocolate quinoa, and then the stroopwafel.
Chocolate quinoa? What the? I have not.
It's not that good. What? It sounds crazy. It's not that good.
All right. Okay. That's good. Thank you for settling me down.
You're not missing out on anything.
I was gonna book, but I'm always a salty guy. I've always gone for the salt.
Yeah, I think so.
I got the
something about
waffle
sugar. Yeah.
recently.
No. Okay. Yeah.
And
I feel like the first couple times you do stroopwafel, and then after a while you're like, I can't have sugar on a plane. This is crazy.
I will say I didn't eat the stroopwafel last time, and then I brought it home and put it in my fridge, and then I ate it cold later. It was worse. It was worse, but I thought it was going to be better. But I don't recommend.
Those are literally meant to be warmer, not colder. You put them over a mug of tea to melt them.
Shit. I really screwed up. Yeah. You're right.
But hey, experimentation is important, because what if it was better?
Thank you.
Yeah. You could have been turning us all onto the delights of frozen stroopwafel.
Yeah, guess so. I will say one of my hacks: get the I think this is any airline. Get the tomato juice or Bloody Mary mix as your drink, and that can kind of stave off a little hunger because it's it's kind of savory, like a tomato bisque.
Yeah, but then you have to put up with how gross that is. I've never been even at brunch, people are like, a Bloody Mary. I'm like, why? That's disgusting.
Oh, interesting. I will do a Bloody Mary because I think it's kind of the only alcoholic thing that I can drink while hungover. Because not that I'm doing that a lot. Okay, don't worry.
Every day.
Don't worry about me. But back when I was doing that, I think it's kind of it's so different than what you eat, a sweet drink or whatever might be a typical thing, that it kind of just brings you into another category.
Can't do it. Sorry.
You're good. That's good, because I think it's a dark path to go down. Anyway, back to these Basque style cheesecakes. We'll start with Jasmine. Oh man, Jasmine just effortlessly crushing.
Mm-hmm.
What do we
every
think
time
about this girl? Yeah,
swinging away,
incredible.
Crushing.
Yeah.
Never stressed about her, and she's also not I feel like I wanted to kind of compare her with Tom, because they're both supposedly top contenders here. But Tom, oftentimes he's tries. It feels like the more effort he puts in, the less he gets out. And her, she's sort of just the kid in class who doesn't study and gets an A.
Well, okay, I'll say this. I think this challenge is a really good example of this. I appreciate that Tom is swinging for the fences. I think that Jasmine, we've said this in past seasons, and I don't think it's necessarily the exact same thing, but I think that she does simple very well. So if you look at her Basque cheesecake, gorgeous, beautiful. If you put it in a pastry shop, I'd buy it. Absolutely. Tom's was so innovative that it's if that were a dessert in a restaurant in New York or LA, it'd be all over TikTok. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's the difference between very good and crazy viral insane, and I think that Tom goes for that, and Jasmine never does, which allows her to be better because she can actually execute what she's going for. But I appreciate the artistic vision of Tom going I'm gonna do something fucking nuts here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, his was really out there, and it was really only the flavors that I think and also these judges oftentimes get a little fearful of change.
Yeah,
of anything
I
new.
know,
is the
yeah, I
thing.
know what you mean.
Truly, me seeing the color of his cake and everything, I was like, that's exactly the kind of thing. I love that. But I
Mm-hmm.
also, I mean, it's a little scary. Look, I mean, yeah, that's, ooh, I don't know. Cheesecake that
Yikes.
doesn't look exactly the way I think of all cheesecakes, that's
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
for me.
Right. Not like one Prue had ever seen in South Africa growing
No.
up. But yes, so we'll go with Jasmine first. She did her passion fruit again, mango and passion fruit basque lime infused cheesecake. Um, yeah, I think okay. Here's one thing she did the same thing as we did last week, where she said, "I'm literally shaking." And they
Hmm.
showed her
Mhm.
hands. So because we awarded her last week, I figured we'd do it again to stay
Yeah,
consistent.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they did show her hands, and it was when she was removing the cake from like the paper, the
Mhm.
demolding aspect. So it makes sense. We're gonna give her that half a point. Yeah, the judges were like, it's proper burnt. It stuck a little around the edge, but it looks beautiful, delicious, great texture. So again, flying colors,
Yeah.
did it again. Next, Aaron with his again some Japanese influence here, basque
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
sake cheesecake,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sake plum syrup, dark chocolate curls. So maybe we can throw similar
Yeah.
to the kitsune last week. He's really
Yeah.
fulfilling his weeb dreams.
Yeah,
Truly, the
1000%.
describing this cake was like, this is exactly the flavor profile that I'm into. Like
Oh, really?
I love
Okay,
a
yeah.
good like semi-savory, or at the very least like the dark chocolate and the like sake syrup. I was
Yeah.
like, this sounds so good. And I was so happy it actually
Yeah.
turned out well.
Yeah. Very successful, very different. It was a tribute to his granddad because plums reminded him of when he used to go over and eat them there. And he did say, God bless Bernard. So I think he's dead. I'm going to say he has
Okay.
passed because he didn't
Yeah.
say anything. He referred to him in the past tense. He said it reminded him of when he used to visit him as a kid and like eat plums there, which I'm like,
Mhm.
that just feels like a, uh, like a
Yeah.
past, like a far past person.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
don't
I
know.
feel like that's probably okay. But I was gonna say, I mean, hey, I'm here to vie for iffy. So yes,
I was,
absolutely, I
yeah,
do
yeah.
think that
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
grandpa
yeah.
is dead.
I think
Yeah.
it does no harm to award the point because it would go to Iffy's team.
It
Sure,
wouldn't
yes.
do any
Why
big,
not?
no big waves.
But I will
Go
say
crazy.
that I feel like in the past, in the absence of solid information, we have erred on the side of we cannot award the
I
point
see.
because
That
we
is
can't
true.
confirm a death. That being said, you're the commissioner and what you say goes. You wear the hat, which is available at maxfunstore.com.
Yes, pause for typing that into your browser. Yes, I agree. I think because I was thinking it was Iffy's team, I was a little bit like, well, why not?
Throw him a bone.
Make
The
me
guy
look,
needs it.
make me look very generous here and a team player.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll give him a half a point. I will say also, listener Judy, whose scoreboard I also cheat off of. Thank you. Did award the points to Aaron as well here, so we're in good company.
All right.
Okay. Moving on. They loved the chocolate work on top. They believed it would attract from a pastry window, which is a cute thought. Who's shopping for pastries through the window? I mean, I guess so. A full cheesecake, maybe. Why not? They did just, they said it was smooth. It had just set holding, but it was perfect jelly wobble. Again, no handshake, but is that a surprise anymore?
No. Not a surprise at all.
But yeah, so that was Aaron. Toby had he also did passion fruit similar to Jasmine with his white chocolate cheesecake with flourish of a crispy sage leaves. His ganache did split and he started it over, I think twice, because at some point he said third time's a charm. But anyway, he just gets half a point for both of those start overs.
And then I'm jumping ahead, but when he makes it again for the showstopper, he's like, I'm going to try this new technique where I break it on purpose and then blend it back together. And I was like, A, I've never heard of that. B, I can't believe it worked. And C, that's a good way to be like, look, if I mess up, it's a called shot. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he was doing all sorts of things. He also had that thing where he was like, I curdled. Was that what you're talking about?
The
when he was like, I
curdling,
curdled it and then that's my secret. Okay, yeah. Fascinating. He's definitely coming up with stuff. It seems like he used to kind of be just the technical guy, but it seems like he's kind of being successful in these other things.
Yeah.
He did say my hands are shaking so much very explicitly, so he gets half a point there as well.
Okay.
They thought of his cheesecake that it was very rich, very delicious, needed more citrus, and it wasn't punchy enough inside.
Which is, it's so funny because then Prue picks up his little passion fruit ball and pops one into her mouth, and it's like, that's it's there. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because you didn't like eat it all in one bite,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often wonder because they're always like, oh, like each thing is like it's, or sometimes they'll criticize, and this goes across the board, like this layer was good, but it only works with the other layer. But it's like, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
That's what
the
you're doing.
cake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what a cake is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing where like I can understand it for the like there's some of the challenges where they're like make a thing that's like on its own, right? Where there's like, oh,
Right.
here's a ball attached to it, and that is its own separate thing. But for
Right.
for a cheesecake, that is part of it. You want to eat
Yeah.
it with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that should have counted still.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It looked really cool too. It like
Yeah.
the
Looked
you
great.
know, built up like a passion fruit. Very cool.
Yeah.
And
And crispy sage on top. I was like, that's
Oh, right.
a gorgeous little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Tom had his, again, we discussed the black sesame and lemon curd cheesecake, had blackberries. Yeah, it was so beautiful. And the pop of yellow in the lemon curd surprise was really
Brilliant.
cool.
Loved it.
And that was also something where I think they were like, you need the lemon curd. It's like, yeah, well, that's because it's in there.
For the record, I also disagree with this whole challenge is a good demonstration of like what the British palate is because they all did fruit. Like even Aaron, who was like chocolate and sake, I'm like, that sounds great. And also plums. I'm like, I understand the instinct to be like, okay, cheesecake tastes like this. You want like a tart thing to cut through it. But to my palate, I'm like, no, give me a chocolate cheesecake, a caramel cheesecake.
Yeah,
like these people have never been to an American Cheesecake Factory with like a Reese's peanut butter cup cheesecake. You know what I mean? Like that's the move.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine they got to go through that whole book menu and choose any
They have a heart
cheesecake?
attack.
Yeah.
They die on sight.
There's
I
more
can't wait
cheesecakes.
for the technical challenge that comes directly from the Cheesecake Factory. That's my
Yes.
dream for Great British Bake Off. Like,
Yes.
as soon as they're like, and this, known best at Applebee's, is an important cake that is very difficult to make. Like, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Next year. I can see it. I can see it.
How long do you think before Cheesecake Factory is like, okay, we're doing a Basque cheesecake, we're doing like a jiggly Japanese cheesecake. You know what I mean? Like we're finally going to start
right.
making other styles.
I mean, here is the thing. I have not stepped foot in a Cheesecake Factory for maybe 7 years. And
No.
so if you just,
yeah.
you could
I
literally
have.
say any food. And we're like, you can get that at the Cheesecake Factory? And I'd be like, probably.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
odds
you'd
are,
be
yeah.
right. You can get anything there.
Yeah.
Odds are. But
It's
no, I haven't been in a while.
incredible. Oh, you guys are missing out.
Either. Yeah.
If I win this season, we're doing a meal at the Cheesecake Factory.
That would be great.
Mike,
Yes,
I
would
just want
be-
you to know, I don't think anyone in the history of the world has ever had Cheesecake Factory. Oh, you're missing out in the same. I don't think that has ever been
hard
uttered.
disagree. To me, it is such a like a restaurant of the people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got a birthday, you got a graduation, you got to celebrate a divorce.
Sure.
You're going to Cheesecake Factory,
All of the
and it's
above.
like it's also I don't know. I feel like I've touched on this aspect of my like general food opinion on this podcast many times before, but I think that it is so easy to shit on like quote unquote like not nice restaurants, especially in the world of like fine dining or whatever. And I'm such a proponent of like lowbrow, like not pretentious food. Like I love Michelin starred meals, and also like sometimes people get on Cheesecake Factory and I'm like, that's not even the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Sizzler is, if you're talking about like a seated dinner, and even Sizzler is fine. I fucking love Cheesecake Factory, unabashedly love. And if you have been to one recently and you're like, I hate Cheesecake Factory, you're lying to yourself. It's delicious. It's objectively good. You can't not be good.
Yeah. It is
Yeah,
important.
maybe.
You got to keep the balance. And like, yeah, I can enjoy a delicious omakase, and I can also slam a beef and cheddar from Arby's, baby. Ooh,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
exactly. Give me the sweet corn tamale cakes from Cheesecake Factory any day. That's a full meal. That's on the appetizer portion. That's a full meal for me, and it's delicious.
Wow. Yeah, they have great portions. I just know, it's also hard. It feels like anybody who's doing that many different meals, like it's gonna be, tough quality wise, but they somehow pull it off.
Yeah.
They
And
pull it
then
off.
so maybe it's about the order. It's like if you
Yeah.
went in and got something you didn't really like, I'm sure you can find something in the
Honestly,
other 998 pages.
Yeah.
You are so right. And the Cheesecake Factory chefs are braver than the troops. Like, truly, if you are a chef that has actively gone to work at Cheesecake
Yeah.
Factory, God bless you. You are strong.
Yeah. Who knows what's going on back there? I don't want to see it. But yes, impressive. Well, yeah, it's like what an ad for Cheesecake Factory right there.
I hope they sponsor us. I'm not even.
What an honor.
There is no part of this as an exaggeration or a lie. I'll admit my move here for this is specifically for the Angelino pots and pans. I don't do this all the time because you couldn't do it all the time, but I have done more than once in the past. You go to the Americana at Brand, where the AMC Theater is right next to the Cheesecake Factory. You get your Cheesecake Factory to go. You walk in. They're not going to stop you because it's a mall, and they can't stop you from bringing leftovers into the theater. And it's all packaged up like it's leftovers. Yeah. You sit in an empty theater. That's key. You're not trying to bother everyone around you with a bang bang chicken and shrimp. You know what I mean? But like, you find an empty middle of the day screening next time you have a day off work. Sit in the back. Eat your little Cheesecake Factory, watch a movie. It is a perfect, like, take yourself on a date, man. It is so much fun.
That's a great tip. Yeah, actually, I was at the Americana recently, and it was packed. Cheesecake Factory, like outdoor patio area.
Yeah, because it's good. The people know.
Yeah. So they're doing fine. They don't need us. But back to this goth cheesecake. But yeah, it was funny. Noel offered his handshake. No points for that, but very, very funny bit.
Yeah.
They didn't like they felt like there was too little flavor in it, as we saw. And more exciting of a look, form over flavor. But pretty cool. Pretty cool for us viewers at home.
I feel like again, going back to like what a British palate is, part of me is like, is it because black sesame is already sort of like a subtle taste? You know what I mean? It's like you're talking about sesame, which is a very like earthy, nutty, and then you put that in a cheesecake. It's like, well, how punchy could that flavor possibly be? And their bar in their head is like, it should be mango, it should be passion fruit. And I'm like, well, it tastes exactly like black sesame. You know what I mean? What do you want?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I wonder how much sesame he used flavor wise, because I feel like it can be super overwhelming. And like, I wonder if he drew back a little bit thinking like, well, I don't want to, freak them out, which they would be freaked out. Maybe.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But interesting. Okay. Ian, he had his Christmas box cheesecake with candied orange curd, cardamom tweels. He before, when he was just describing this to him, he got a Hollywood pat, or he like requested a pat or something. It was it was like a very awkward.
What are we doing? Half point for a Hollywood pat on the back?
Yeah, I can't be doing this anymore.
Hey, look, if it wasn't Ian, if it was for Aaron, I do think the pity handshake does count for a point for Iffy's team, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it works for anyone else's
pity
team,
pat.
but a pity pat is, I think, worth it if you're in last place.
Yes, fair. So
it's it's a
weird
placement dependent point.
Sure.
Like if you're on the bottom half of the scoreboard, it's worth a point.
Right. Big if. But we did see Toby actually help him by pulling the paper away. So Toby's going to get a point there. Ian's cheesecake did split when he was unmolding, but he kind of covered it up. I don't think they really addressed it much.
Right.
There was too much zest though. Where it was almost on the bitter side, like they kind of were like, you went down to the pith, like you probably could have stopped a little bit earlier, but they did like the texture. It had its wobble. They just thought, he added some yellow coloring too that they thought was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Do you two have the same reaction I do whenever the word extract is brought up in Great British Bake Off, where you're like, immediately as someone's like, and I'm putting in a little bit of extract, and I go, you're gonna fail.
Right.
This is not gonna work. Immediately. I think there's just something that immediately like turns Paul and Prue completely off of that. It's just
because they can both taste it. They call it all the time where they're like, did you use a little boost in this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely... Have you been doping? Have you been doping this cheesecake?
Right, exactly.
Like, I can tell.
I guess. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. That is the version of this competition of doping. But yeah, and to be fair, like I remember, obviously vanilla extract, everybody kind of, I feel like that's a staple in a cabinet, but I have gotten peppermint extract to make like peppermint bark. Sometimes I'll do that.
Okay.
And like even just a little too much, and it's like, the whole kitchen like gets toxic. It's like, oh boy. No, wow. I mean it's truly like I'm like, oh, pepper, must be kind of whatever, like can't be that crazy, but it's like, oh yeah, extract gets crazy. So yeah, I can't imagine with whatever they're using. But yeah, so yeah, those are all 5 from our signatures. Seemed like, the strongest were probably Jasmine and Aaron there, but to be continued. So technical challenge. Their technical challenge is to make 6 gluten-free orange upside-down puddings consisting of moist, fragrant orange and cardamom sponge topped with caramelized orange and served alongside a creme anglaise, which is, it's always funny when they make like the side liquid. Like, I don't know, it just seems, it just
you
seems
gotta get the
extra.
sauce.
Yeah, a little dipping. So these were interesting. I think a lot of it was pretty straightforward as far as like, there was no staggered start this time. It was kind of a return to our usual technical. And I'll just start from the bottom here. So Aaron came in fifth.
Yeah.
His was the first that they actually tasted, and Paul did say it's quite raw, so he does lose a point there.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Raw. Okay. All right.
In the middle. So so that's unfortunate. Jasmine was fourth, also the second they tasted, and they did say soggy there down at the bottom. So another point loss.
Okay.
Crazy.
Damn it, Jasmine.
Back to back.
And they just went from the top in the previous challenge to the bottom here.
Yeah, you're right. A complete switcheroo.
Wow. Okay.
Then third. So now we're, it's so funny because we only have 5 bakers now. So even third place is like in the middle, but third place was Toby. So he gets half a point. His was neat. Some of the like little puddings were higher than others, but it was better baked than the first two. Second was Ian. So that he gets a point. He just needed to kind of take the pith off. So they were making that joke a lot. Take the pith
of course.
Take the pith off, and it was similar to like the problem with his signature where he just loves the pith. He loves to put that pith in. But his were actually really great otherwise. And I was surprised because it looked so different. And the fact that he didn't take that out, I was like, oh, that's going to be a huge error. But I guess the rest was so good that he still got second. And first was Tom with 1.5 points. Yeah, his were pretty well faultless, as they said. So
Wow, Tom.
Good for Tom.
Pretty good.
He needed that, I think.
He needed that. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, he was definitely in the bottom.
Them continuing to make the take the pith joke reminded me that I meant to talk about this in the last challenge because Noel was doing a bit with Aaron about plums. Yes. And they kept giggling in a way that made me think, is plum British slang for like a butt or something? Because
I'm pretty sure your plums are your balls. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I could be wrong,
Thank
but
you.
I think that's but it was truly, I did have a moment where I was like, what are they giggling about? They're saying just normal words. This is a standard conversation, but I could be wrong there. But I think they truly were right in their bag of Great British, like just a little bit of an innuendo, but as soon as the pith came out, you could see all of their eyes light up. They're like, finally,
we all get to say this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, no, versus when they said handy or whatever a while back, it was like, nobody batted an eye.
Skipped right over handy.
Yeah, that's not real. Wow. But yes, I noticed that plum thing too. That's funny because I think I even I went back to look for the grandfather being dead or not, and then I came across that again, and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess it's kind of funny, but it's like, okay, that makes sense. There's some sort of plum reference there. Let us know, write in if you know the full history of the plum innuendo. But not much to talk about in the technical there. I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts.
I think it was just like truly a reversal of the first part. Sure. And I think whenever that happens, I'm like, cool, I'm fine with the signature being the thing that like decides it all, right? Cool. It's always more obscure when it's like, oh, you did well in the first and in the technical, and then you bombed on the third, and then you kicked off. This one I was like, anyone's game. It truly was like the most. I by this point I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen at the end of this.
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Yeah, mixed up a lot.
I was going to say for the recipe, did they ever? This is the point in the episode where I had to do something. Did they ever explicitly say whether or not gluten-free was a challenging part of it? Because they set it up top and I was like, oh, this will be a plot point. Like, how do you do this without gluten? But then no one talked about it. I'm like, well, is the recipe just gluten-free? Because then we don't need to talk about it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that like the producers every season are like, we got to throw one in for the celiacs. Like, it's fine. But like that was always, I did have that moment where I was like, I really cannot tell if this is originally gluten-free or if it's not,
exactly,
because no one talked about it at all.
They didn't. You're totally right. I thought it would be more of a thing. They didn't bring it up, and then it's like, well, maybe just the flour they were given was different, and then it's just you sub it in, so it doesned matter. But you're right. There was really no talk of that. But I guess, I mean, it looked like a breaded looking, like, like a cakey thing. So I assume it's not originally.
I don't know.
But
That's what I would have to assume. I don't know. Someone else with baking experience, weigh in. You got to let us know.
help us. Yeah. But yes, definitely a big switcheroo here. I will say the deliberation. So obviously they always do one right before the showstopper and right after. And they basically didn't really list like who was in line. At this point, they said the only person who's maybe on, safe is Toby because he's the most consistent because he's probably like
Yeah.
middling in both of them.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll discuss that after they also talk about a post showstopper, but I just wanted to lay that out here before we get in. But yes, the showstopper, the one to decide it. So this one is make a sensational celebratory freestanding trifle inspired by the classic trifle, which consists of a jelly, a custard, and a baked element. And again, Prue's favorite pudding of all time. Thank you, Prue. But yeah, pretty funny. Yeah.
When Prue says it's her favorite pudding of all time, this is where like the British translation of what to call a dessert just starts. I was like,
out of control.
I know what a trifle is. I have an idea of it in my head. But when you say it's your favorite pudding and it contains custard and also a jelly, I'm like, in America, this is a who's on first situation, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. It was that has always been confusing. Like, okay, my only window into like British culture as a child was, I guess, Harry Potter. So when they would talk about pudding and then you'd be like, what are they
Christmas
talking
pudding.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas pudding. Or then when like Dobby in the movie drops like the cake on
Right.
somebody, they're like, it's a pudding. So in my head, I was like, oh, it looks like a cake, but it must be just made of pudding. Like it's like a cool like cake shaped pudding.
An optical illusion. Yeah.
But
Honestly,
yes.
also the fact that they were like, this is a trifle and it's got to be freestanding, which pretty much everyone was like, no, trifles are sloppy and they shouldn't be freestanding. And I was like, that's like being like, I need you to make a chocolate lava cake that has a hard center and is just completely well done. And it's like, that's not a trifle anymore. What are you talking about? There's at certain points, they're just, when they kept being like, oh, watch out for that gelatin. And seeing everyone put like sheets and sheets and sheets of gelatin in, I was like, you're setting yourself up for failure. No one's going to do well at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody kind of like, I mean, obviously there were some strong ones, but like it was definitely tripping up people. The idea too of like the jelly domes on top of these cakes is like so funny to me. It just like it looks awesome. Like I do love that idea, and like jelly art is so cool. But it is also just like why?
Yeah. When they were talking about like the jelly was bland, and I'd be like, I wouldn't know because I wasn't gonna eat it anyway. And like that's all right. It's fine. That's the decoration, and it goes away.
The cake topper. Yeah, it's beautiful. And we put it aside and save it for later. We put it in the fridge and eat it like a stroopwafel. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the ones, of course, we had a couple successful ones. Jasmine is up there. She was first to be judged. Hers was a strawberry and lemon trifle. She sort of had this limoncello soaked sponge, strawberry jelly, and vanilla bavarois, finished off with lemon curd cream and fresh fruit. Hers was great. They were like, the jelly was spot on, texture wise, flavor wise. Lemon curd worked beautifully. It was still holding after they took out 2 big slices. So that was a freestanding trifle if we ever saw one. But yeah, again, hers was kind of like, they didn't, she didn't really have much of a story this episode because it was all kind of like, I'm doing this. Hope it works. Well, it worked.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's like, it's this, it's not as evident as like when Tom did his like pitch black Bosque cheesecake, but on this one, I was like, hers, it's beautiful. I'm not saying it's ugly or is not deserving of any accolades, but compared to the others, I was like, it's the simplest one, I think. And I'm sure it tastes great, but it's, you're setting the bar at a reasonable place.
She also did have the most, watching this was the first time in a very long time that I was like, that's really risky when she was like sliding the strawberry.
And
I was like, that is impossible. You can't do that.
There has to be a better way. Yeah.
It worked out okay though. But that was the one time that I was like, you messed up somewhere along the line.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yes. Very, very, a lot of nerve-wracking points at this trifle, these like wobbly trifles. But Aaron, notably a trifle hater himself.
Yeah.
He made the trifle haters trifle. This had layers of raspberry curd, chamomile custard, peach compote, wrapped inside a chocolate collar. Oh yeah, that was smart. He kind of put that collar on, and that kind of helped with the wobbliness. Topped it with the champagne jelly, which everybody loved, and chantilly cream.
Yeah.
The peaches in the jelly on top looked really cool. He kind of had a nice design where it wasn't a dome. It was like in the kind of in the form of the cake.
Yeah.
Which was smart.
They didn't love his stuff, and like, correct me if he went pretty early. He was the second one, right, in judging.
So.
And so when I heard their like when they were giving the criticisms, I was like, oh no, come on. And then later was like, oh, those criticisms weren't that bad. But it was one of those moments where I realized I was like, it's funny whenever someone like Aaron gets this far, because it's like he hasn't been given a specific edit. Like he hasn't been given the goofy guy edit of Ian. He hasn't been given the charisma edit of Puimon. It's like he is just consistent. He's just been like he's been doing well. He's been doing it all right. And I do love the like chocolate collar on it. I was like, he did come up with something that I think was very smart for this. And I don't think he got enough credit for like, oh, that's structural. That's smart. Good job, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, I want to say two things. One is not going back on what I said, but to Jasmine's credit, she did not have any sort of container, no collar, no wraparound cake or anything, and it did hold. And so I'm like, okay, that is cool. I appreciate like the Milk Bar cake style of like the whole thing looks like a cross section. Like you could see the cut strawberries on the outside. That was great. I do think that Aaron's edit in the back half of episodes has been like always a bridesmaid, where it's like, he comes close and they're not going to give it to him. And I just like it. I don't like that storyline because to me it just reads as like, here's racism on full display. But I do think that like he started with no storyline. He came out of the gate as just like a regular guy. And now it's a little bit more like, why isn't he getting the credit that he is due,
Right. Yeah, he does feel like, they'll interview him of like, oh, I didn't get this. Or it'll be like, kind of, or I feel like they go to him a little bit more for like, who are you in competition with this week?
Right.
And it's always going to be, Jasmine or whoever's been winning. But like, so it's kind of, I guess, more relatable, but also like, maybe a little bit depressing.
Early on, I was like, I don't know if he'll get to the finals. And now I'm like, oh, I think he might. I think he could get there because of situations like what Tom was going through, right? Where it's like, oh, he's swinging for the fences and he's not quite hitting it.
Right. Yeah. That being said, at this point in time, I do think that I stand by, because I've said this earlier in the season, that the finale is going to be Jasmine, Tom, and the third one's a wild card. And now knowing it's a toss-up between Toby and Aaron, I'm like really hoping it's Aaron.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, speaking of Toby and Aaron, actually, I'll just kind of reiterate some of the judges' words on Aaron's trifle. They did like the peaches in the jelly. They thought that looked great. Chamomile was too rubbery. Sponge dry. Chamomile was too soft. Sorry, the gelatin was too rubbery. The chamomile was too soft. But the flavors were great. It's just the textures that had issues. So yeah, I see what you mean. Brian was like, that sounds like everything had an issue. But then everybody kind of screwed up here. So he's good. Toby did his Nanny Mo's sherry trifle, which was layering sherry-soaked sponge with vanilla, custard, and elderflower. That was like the big twist. There's also a poinsettia jelly dome. So he did say with this Nanny Mo, just to clarify for everybody wondering if she's alive or dead, he said Nanny Mo makes it for Christmas every year, present tense. So I figure she's Nanny Mo. She's around. Yeah. She's going to make it again this year. But he did his curdling custard on purpose or whatever here.
Weird technique. Never seen it. Hope to never see it again.
Just a curdling. It's like, we don't want to touch that. But he did say because his jelly dome got stuck and didn't come out the bowl in a full dome or whatever, which was very sad, but it still looked kind of cool. He did say, I'm so gutted about that jelly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Point there. He's
really racking him up this episode.
Yeah.
He's ticking the boxes for sure. But yes, so he did. The highlight was kind of the elderflower jelly. They love that taste wise. They were just sort of like, it's a shame that didn't come out well. Yeah. But the sponge was rock hard, very dry.
Oof. Yeah, that's a damning comment. Yeah, that's rough.
That's pretty brutal. Yeah.
We might have to put that in the next seasons,
Yeah.
like raw on the opposite side, rock
Yeah, you do
hard.
need. Yeah, honestly, both extremes are important. Rock
Yeah.
solid and raw, I think, are
Yeah.
important ones.
Awful.
Also, there was a point where I think that I'm not sure at what point in the episode, Noel was making jokes about everyone in the
Oh yeah.
room, which was very good. He did call Toby a World War II pilot, which I was like, that's very funny. But I also was like, his mustache, it feels more like bare knuckle brawler to me. Like I
Oh
feel
Yeah,
like
I
I
sure,
see
agree.
him
yeah.
Yeah.
on a poster outside a circus. Like I think
Oh
that's where
yes,
I'm going.
yeah.
I
But
I think that's a function of the fact that we're Americans, and I associate
yeah,
that
Oh
with
yeah.
like
yeah,
old timey New York, like in the Bowery. You know what I mean?
yes.
Right, right. It's not too far off. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, that's yeah. Because I was kind of I was like World War II pilot. Oh, maybe, but I'm like, well, yeah. I guess I think of I don't know
Mhm.
others. It's
Did
all
you
the
think it
world at war.
was? Did you
So.
think it was weird that he got to Jasmine, didn't say anything because no one wants to call her bald to her face?
Sure, yeah. That
I was
I was
like,
like, he needs
he's
to.
working on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I know Noel has some very funny jokes right here that he's like, though they won't show up in
Yep.
edit, and I want this bit to show up in edit, so I'm gonna have to
Oh,
throw this
right,
one
right.
away.
Let's pump the
Yeah.
brakes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Smart,
exactly. Yeah.
smart.
Do you guys
Yeah.
know Chloe Radcliffe?
Oh,
A
yeah, yeah,
friend of the
yeah.
pod, Chloe Radcliffe, stand-up comedian. She has
Mhm.
very notably a large birthmark on her face, and she has a whole bit in her set about how like white people never like, how would you describe me in a crowd? And they're like brunette. Like they never want to talk about the thing, you know?
Amazing, amazing. But yes, yeah, and then at the end too, because I mean, Ian was notably short king, belovedly
Mhm.
That's
throughout the
right. Yeah.
season, and he was kind of self saying
Yeah.
that, but then they all like said that immediately, short king, like when he got
Yeah.
eliminated.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but yes. Okay, so rock hard sponge. Less sponge would have been better for Toby. More custard. They wanted more curdled custard, I guess, but they love the flavors. Shame about the jelly, all that, but
Mhm.
yeah. So next was Tom with his Greek trifle, which is inspired by dessert his mom made every night in Greece. Assuming she's still alive. So creme de fig, soaked sponge, Greek yogurt mousseline, topped with like a decorated jelly olive branch. Very exciting.
This was the prettiest one to me. I love the way this one looked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know how else to explain the design other than to say like it felt like a dessert for adults. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, honestly, it's a hard battle for anyone who has a Jello mold on the top to say this is a dessert for adults. So I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might have helped that
Sure.
there. But
Sure, yeah.
Right. It's like the elevated, the kids are now adults and they're making
Yeah.
their own cakes.
Yeah.
But yes, I think, okay. So here's the question. He did, Noel came over and was like, and there's some almonds on the floor and they're kind of crunching on the floor. And
Mhm.
he did put almonds on the cake. So does that count as something gets dropped on the floor, which we have not used this season, but it
that's
is
right.
a point system we have. It's a negative half a point. So, I mean,
here's as an outside observer for most of this, I would say if it's like an element of the thing, then if it's just like an ingredient that isn't like if it's like an actual cake part that falls on the ground, then it
Yeah.
does. If it's just like, oh, I spilled some salt on the ground, oh, I spilled my vanilla extract, but I can get more of it. It was obviously didn't need any more almonds, especially after the judging, tell you what. But it was,
He did not.
Yeah, so I was like, I think that's okay to say it wasn't dropped on the floor.
Okay.
But
I'm going to
we'll see.
respectfully disagree.
Oh,
I think that there
any
is
more points.
I think
no
there
need-
is an implication that yes, salt or whatever will touch the ground, but to me it's like we're watching an edited TV show. If they make a point in the edit to be like this thing is all over the ground,
Oh.
that is to me an element of your bake on the ground.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay.
you're the
This is
commish.
this is
Yeah,
gonna
You're
be-
wearing the
you know,
hat, available
and
for
I-
I think $19.99 at maxfunstore.com.
wow, what a deal. Yes, I see what you mean. I think yes, because they highlighted it and it was an element that kind of was pronounced in the cake, like it was on top,
Mhm.
and I felt like it was, I'm sure again this has happened before, but we just haven't seen it in the edit. But for that reason, I was going to say yes. And look, I think Brian, it is actually a negative half a point for me. So in some ways,
okay.
this could
Actually,
help
then never
even.
mind. Yeah, it absolutely.
In that case, take it away.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
absolutely.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Unanimous. But okay, so I figured, and we haven't used it this season, so I'm kind of like, It's fine.
Yeah, let's
throw
take
in
it out of the arsenal there. Let's take it out of the arsenal there. Yeah.
So we're gonna chalk that up as dropping an element on the floor, negative half a point for Tom there. And then another point situation, Ian did help Tom by like holding his finger on something while something was happening.
Oh, right.
So Ian gets a point there.
Okay.
Lots is happening. But yeah, so this Tom Greek trifle, the judges thought it looked really nice. It did. It's too big. They were like, too big. Maybe the sponge layers are too thick. There was too much extract, as we have chatted about. They could only taste almond, even the ones on the floor. But yes, all bland. It was a little bland, I guess, except the almond, and then the fig was not enough flavor. They wanted more of that creme de fig. But they did love the design and the setup. Just the flavors and textures are not there, and those are kind of important. So unfortunate for Tom. But let's move on to Ian, who did his triflemina, which was inspired by Taormina.
Really making a stretch with the wordplay there. I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but yes, that's a city in Sicily. So he did like a Sicilian tile collar, really beautiful strawberry marsala jelly. I know.
Yeah.
He's always great at design. He did do this lemon jelly dome with that Sicilian sun, that sort of design on top, also beautiful. The big thing from his edit was the tent blew in when he was saying like nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
This was an interesting weather episode too. It was like raining and windy sometimes, and then it was like sunny. So I guess that's what's happening over there.
I am now realizing, as you're describing the design, I might have been thinking of this one when I said this was the most beautiful one. I don't remember. One of the two. It was one of these two was the beautiful one that looked like it was for adults. I don't know.
Both Mediterranean style designs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cakes. Yeah. But yes, no, I think I could see them both being that way. But yeah, this definitely had that nice like tile design on the outside. The problem was they were so mad. No flavor in the jelly. They were like, fuck this sun. There's no flavor in here.
Yeah.
The Jacon sponge was quite firm. The cannoli was nice, but the flavors were all a little pale. Yeah, not having a great day. So it was a bummer. There were a couple moments here when the judges said something pretty cutting, and the people looked surprised. The bakers were like, "Oh, really?"
Right.
So yeah, trifles.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, serious. Yeah. So that was the showstopper. Just to get into these deliberations. So basically, again, kind of weird. I mean, there's only 5 people left, so I feel like they stopped using like maybe the normal terms. But basically, they said Ian and Tom are on the bottom here. No surprises. They never really explicitly said in line for star bakers. So this is another discussion we got to have.
Okay.
I thought that they were like pointing toward Jasmine and a little bit Aaron, but I think it was like one of those things where it's always one of those moments where they have to be like, we know the answer to this, but we can't like explain it fully, especially after how Aaron's showstopper went. I was like, I can only see this going to one person, and I'm sure that they felt the same way.
Right. They didn't want to like set it up too much. Okay, that feels right. So basically, I know they didn't say in line, but they said Aaron saved himself. And they said, but Toby is lingering. So before he was on top, but like maybe he got demoted. So in my head, I was thinking Jasmine and Aaron. Obviously, Jasmine actually gets it. Woo. But yeah, so I was going to say Jasmine and Aaron get the point there. How
interesting
about that?
Yeah.
Jasmine's my team, so I'll take the point. Part of me is like,
I'm definitely taking the point. 100%. Aaron is absolutely in line.
Good work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Okay. I'll disagree.
In my last moments, I'm just trying to grab anything I can. I gotta. If he is gonna have a little like performance review after this,
you're right.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Okay. All right. In order to help out Brian, I'll say okay. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead and give that point.
Good work, Brian. Yeah, that was masterfully done. But
you should be a lawyer. Okay. That was very convincing.
That was I'm glad. That's how I would also be as a lawyer. I'd be like, come on, jury. It's like, you got to just let me have this. Oh, please just let me have this one.
Right. So convincing. Like, you know what? That lawyer, though, he made a pretty good point. I'll change my vote to guilty. No. Okay, so all right. So Starbreaker, of course, goes to Jasmine. This is her number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Impressive.
Incredible. She said she didn't think it was in the cards, but hey, it was. And going home, our short king, Ian.
Thug loaf.
Thug loaf. Yeah. We kind of saw it coming. He was always kind of, he was struggling there for a bit. And then this episode, he didn't pull off, the best showstopper. And I think that was what
But
he
you
needed.
know what? He engaged to his tall girlfriend. He's doing great.
That's true.
Yeah. Look,
He has
who's
to-
really the winner there? Honestly,
You're right.
He won.
It's Ian.
You're right.
Yeah.
He had to rush home, go to that park, and get on one knee. And yeah. So very happy for Ian that he's
Yeah.
engaged and made it to the what are these quarterfinals? But
Semifinals.
now
This
we're
was
going
quarter,
to
now
this-
it'll be semi.
Now we're going to the semifinal. So it'll be, 4 bakers left. And then the finals have 3. So we're really getting to the end. Yeah.
So at this point, it's if he has Aaron, and then
Yes.
who has 2 right now?
I still
left
have
in
2,
Sierra.
I guess, because Toby and
okay.
Tom, the
Oh,
two
Yeah,
boys.
Tom and Toby.
And
Yeah.
then
I've
and
got
then
Jasmine.
you have
Gotcha.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting. So okay, so we can discuss a little bit here. I think we didn't make any crazy changes to points. So I'm keeping the points that I decided.
Okay.
Correction from last week, as I discussed at the top of the episode. Iffy and Brian today, 20.5 points.
All
is where
right.
you're at.
Oh, did I only get 0.5? What? Wait,
Sorry.
no,
No, this is for last week. Sorry,
Oh,
this is
for
last
last
week.
week.
So
Okay, got it.
yeah. So I'm just setting it up because there was a snafu.
Yeah.
And now Mike and I are tied at 31 points going into this
Okay.
episode. So now I'll give
Okay.
you the points to break down for dessert week.
Oh no, and I already know that Toby racked up a shit ton of points on his way out, so I don't feel good about this.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. So
You're doing the thing you just described where
We'll see.
you know the
Wow.
answer, but you can't say it.
Very interesting. Well, we'll see after this commercial message. We'll
After
find
these
out.
messages. Yeah. But okay, so let's get into the breakdown. So dedicated to the dead, Aaron with his granddad, Plum Man, half a point. Shaking hands, my hands are shaking or whatever. We're giving Jasmine that, and Toby definitely. So they each get half a point for that. Starting over, Toby did that for half a point. Helping another baker, we had Toby and Ian, both hands on helping with a point each. Raw, Aaron, subtract a point. Soggy bottom, Jasmine, subtract a point. Third in technical, Toby, plus half a point. Second in technical, Ian, 1 point. First in technical, Tom, 1.5 points. Gutted, Toby, half a point. Dropped on the floor, Tom, minus half a point. In line for Star Baker, Aaron and Jasmine for a point each, and Star Baker, Jasmine for 2. So, Brian, for Iffy, you did gain half a point.
Great.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
It would have been
A+ work.
It was
Yeah.
going to be negative if it wasn't the
didn't have the-
inline,
exactly.
So our
you know.
extrapolations helped there a little bit. But still good, still in the black. Mike, you get 3.5 points,
Okay.
and I gain 4 points.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah, so
That's
we're
not too
really
bad.
close. We're really close.
This
So
is, yeah.
it's pretty exciting.
I can't wait to see how this goes. I truly, again, now that I go back to my civilian life, I will
Right.
be watching. Truly, it's gonna be. I'll be pinned to this next 2 episodes. It's just 2, right? Is that
2
right?
more,
Oh my
yeah.
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
crazy.
just seeing how those go. I do think. Just from my perspective, I think it would be nice if all 3 of you have one person going into the finals. I think that
I
would be
would
really
love.
nice.
Yeah,
which
that's
means,
the dream.
sorry, Tom or Toby, one of you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Go,
I mean-
please. But I think I think that would be a nice way to round it out. But we'll see how it goes.
It's happened to us before sometimes on seasons of this podcast, so I'm hoping it happens again.
Yeah,
It's the most fun that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great. It's the perfect number. So we'll see. I think, Tom and Toby, I think they got to battle it out anyway. Who's to say
yes.
they're not the same person?
Has anyone ever seen them in the same room at the same time?
time?
This is a good opportunity to remind our pots and pans that, as promised during last year's Max Fun Drive, we will be doing an audience vote for our members as to what show we're covering in 2 weeks, because Bake Off is done in 2 weeks. And after that, we got to cover something else. So we have a few options on the table. We are sending out a poll to our members that I think is going out today. If it doesn't go out today, it'll go out by the end of this week. So please keep an eye on your inbox. Vote on that poll so that we know what show to cover in 2 weeks or in a few weeks. Because some of the options start in like December or like later in November. So it's like there might be some gap time. Some of them have already started. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Keep an eye on your email inbox today or in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yes, thank you. And so let's total up these points then. Brian, for Iffy, you have now 21 points.
Fantastic.
That's a good number to be at.
Yeah.
And then Mike, you're at 34 and a half points.
Okay.
And I'm at 35
35.
points.
Ooh,
So
wow.
yeah, good close
I'm
game
coming
there.
for you.
You sure
Coming for
are.
you.
You sure are. But yeah, I mean, this wraps up our time here with Brian.
Yeah. Look, hey, may I make kind of a vain request really quickly?
Yes.
Sure.
Mike, could you please pretend, kind of give me and I have the terrible job Noel monologue for
Ooh,
someone leaving the
yes.
show. And I think it's important that we say maybe Sierra's also leaving, so that way you could do the like zoom in on all of their faces
Right,
as
right.
they wait.
Okay.
I think that would be really nice for me, so that way I can go out on the note. Yeah, I think that would just be a good closure. You know what I'm talking about?
And this means I've got the horrible job of announcing who will be leaving our podcast this week. We've really come to enjoy having all of you here on the pod. So the person who will be leaving us this week is
Zoom into Sierra. Zoom into me.
Brian. Mate, you've been great. You've been so great.
I knew it. I said I wasn't gonna cry. But
It's all right.
I just like
It was
you guys
really
all so
close.
much.
It was really close.
But it was the right time for me to go. I had such a wonderful time. I'll remember this experience for the rest of my life. And I feel like I've gained a lot of confidence in these past few weeks here on this podcast.
And you should be so proud because you've made it so far and you were so great.
Thank you.
Sorry, Brian.
I can't wait to go back to my tall wife and dog, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what they're all doing, right? That's what happens at some point.
Yeah, everybody gets awarded a tall wife and dog at the end as a consolation prize. Wouldn't that be the dream?
Brian, it's been seriously,
yes.
Thank you so much for stepping in. You've been great.
This has been so much fun.
So much wisdom. You've brought so much perspective, and we really appreciate that. But yes, thank you. You will be missed, but we hope to have you back, of course.
Of course, anytime.
Of course. Well, thank you. That is our show. If you like this podcast, share it with someone, but also please go to MaximumFun.org/join, where you can support us for as little as $5 a month. It really helps us out and keeps us going. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop us a line on Instagram at TV Chef Fantasy League or follow us, or send us an email at chef@MaximumFun.org. If you're doing your own Great British Bake Off Fantasy League with friends, please tag us and tell us how you're doing. We also have merch. Check it out at MaxFunStore.com. For full unedited episodes, you can check us out on YouTube. Thanks again to my co-hosts, Mike Cabellon, and guest co-host, Brian David Gilbert. TV Chef Fantasy League is a Maximum Fun production. Our producer is Valerie Moffat. Our engineer is Gabe Mara. Our theme song is by Dylan Van Auken. Our artwork is by Sabrina Volante. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at TV Chef Fantasy League.